In 1931, in Topeka, Kansas, the East Side Baptist Church opened a new branch of its ministry, calling it Westboro Baptist. In 1954, 23 years after the branch opened, the church hired Fred Phelps as pastor, though he soon broke official ties with the organization and kept the church's name. Phelps had been disbarred as an attorney years before for verbally accosting defendants and witnesses, and for being openly disrespectful to judges and fellow attorneys. Phelps had been outspoken in college against those he considered sinners. Yet, ironically, as a lawyer, he worked on civil rights issues during his career and was a supporter of African American citizens for equality. And he ran for public office multiple times on the Democratic ticket. Phelps married and had 13 children, 4 of whom he disowned and considered dead after they left the family faith. He also had 54 grandchildren and several great-grandchildren at the time of his death, who make up the bulk of the Westboro congregation today. In 1991, the church began picketing events and groups that represented those they considered sinners, focusing primarily on 3 groups: homosexuals, Jews, who they blame for the death of Jesus, and the United States military, who they call corrupt due to the United States having legal protections in place for gays. Using hateful signs with angry words like "God hates fags," ironically this is also the URL for their website, and "Thank God for dead soldiers." The group would also sing parodies of American pride songs with lyrics that shame gay people and sinners. The protests started locally in Kansas and soon began traveling to public events around the country, picketing funerals of murdered gay men, stores that sold products made in countries with pro-gay laws, Jewish holiday events, and funerals for veterans that are killed in combat. Spending upwards of hundreds of thousands per year in travel and expenses for these pickets, the church has picketed even very famous individuals like Ronald Reagan, Bill O'Reilly, and Princess Diana, and even the Mormon Church and the Kansas City Chiefs. The protesters have often been the targets of violence themselves: death threats, thrown objects which have struck their children during protests, even bombs exploded in front of their homes. In return, members have been arrested multiple times, and there have been multiple lawsuits in both directions, and legal victories on both sides. Multiple laws, both state and federal, have been initiated to keep these protests under control, restricting space and enforcing distance at particular events. In interviews, the church members, who number only in the dozens, defensively state that they stand for God's word and that their hate messages are actually messages of love. The Westboro Baptist Church has been classified officially as a hate group, along with branches of the Nazi Party and the Ku Klux Klan. It is sadly only one of hundreds of churches with similar beliefs, though it has made itself the most visible.